run through, Carl, your potential reasons for this. But why do you think there's such a lack of focus on these excess?
Well, I think things have moved on in the last 2 weeks since we started pointing this out, and you showed all the articles. But I think the first is to admit there's an excess death problem. We're now getting near to about 20,000. There's been a further 10% in the last 2 weeks,
Wow.
and it doesn't look like abating. So the problem's still there. Interestingly as well, our people in the background, there seems to be a problem in other countries as well, in Europe and in America, similar type increases. The second issue then is the Department of Health and Social Care came out and said, well, we think it's cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And then third is you're coming at it. And just to say, Dan, I don't think you're a crank, a denier or a nut job. You ask the difficult questions and go, what might be causing this? I think there are some things we can say are really important, and Steve Barclay was accosted on this today, wasn't he?
Yes. We're going to play that clip after the news.
Look, the problem in the ambulance service needs fixing. It's minutes that matter when it comes to a heart attack. If you have a cardiac arrest, let me just say, if we get to you within 1 minute, there's a 90% chance of survival. By 10 minutes, it's down to 5%. So when you see Christian Eriksen playing football, you understand the effect of getting there in a timely fashion. Minutes matter when it comes to emergencies. So there is a problem there that needs an approach a bit like the vaccines, where this new Prime Minister coming in says, this is number one fix.
Carl, speaking of the vaccines, can I just ask you, do you see any evidence that the spike in excess deaths could be connected at all to side effects or COVID vaccine injury?
So the key, Dan, is it's in my job title, Professor of Evidence-Based Medicine. It's not what I think, what my opinion is. It's what does the evidence say? And we are working hard to try and get underlying what's going on. What we need at the moment is access to the raw data. And if I was at the heart of government now, I'd be triggering this investigation, getting the independent epidemiologist in to ask these questions, important questions. What else might be underlying this that actually seems to be occurring in other countries? I can't give you an opinion. It's not in my job title. But soon as we have the evidence to hand, I'll come back on the show and I'll let you know what
and Carl, just finally, are you starting to see evidence that lockdowns could actually end up, because it's always been a belief of mine, but I know you're right, we need to wait for the evidence. Do you think lockdowns could end up killing more people than COVID? Are you starting to see evidence of lockdown-related deaths?
You see, I think of it this way, Dan. I think there are very few things that could have the catastrophic effect of lockdowns and the collateral impact going forward. It's a bit like nuclear fallout, isn't it? You have the initial problem, and it's a huge problem. But if you look at Chernobyl, we're not talking about a couple of years. We could be talking about this in a decade's time. There are huge socioeconomic consequences, huge impact on mental health, preventive healthcare, and cancer. This is why, and Rishi's coming out and rewriting the story and going, I am now becoming aware of all these issues, which at the time we didn't even discuss or put in the melting pot for the decisions.